Brothers and sisters, today I speak to you with a weight on my heart that I cannot describe in human words. Heaven has sent signs that cannot be ignored, and what is about to manifest on November 3rd will mark a turning point in our history. It is no coincidence that you are hearing this. Your soul has been guided here to receive a message that has not yet occurred, but which is approaching with relentless speed. The air feels different these days. There's an eerie silence enveloping entire cities, a veil of unease that even the most skeptical are beginning to perceive. Bells will toll on their own in the moonless night, and the shadows of the black moon will spread over places where light once seemed eternal. You can feel it, can't you? That chill in your chest, that unease that tells you something big is coming. The Virgin Mary has shown recent visions, and her words are not to be forgotten. What is to come is unprecedented. The earth will feel tremors that are not only physical, but of the very soul. 3 nations will be touched, and darkness will find cracks where light still lingers. Signs in the heavens have already been observed by those who know how to look with faith. Clouds forming strange symbols, flashes of light crossing the night, and messages that seem written in the moonlight itself. It is no coincidence, brothers and sisters, that these signs coincide with the approach of November 3rd. Every Marian apparition, every prayer whispered to the wind, every act of faith now has a purpose: to prepare hearts for what is about to happen. Among these visions, the Virgin showed a country that will feel the first touches of the black moon. I cannot reveal all the details yet, but images of skyscrapers under deep black skies, cities awakening with an invisible tremor, and a people who do not yet understand the magnitude of what is to come, begin to manifest before her eyes. It is the first country where the echoes of the divine will intersect with the uncertainty of the human. And yet, this is only the beginning, because what will happen next, after the black moon touches its first territory, will open paths that no one can close. Fear will mingle with hope, and those who maintain their faith will witness signs that defy human logic. The Virgin warns that every prayer counts, that every gesture of love and devotion will be an invisible shield against what is to come. Listen carefully, because this is not a story from the past. This is about to unfold, and the time is drawing near. Imagine November 3rd. The sky shrouded in a dark veil, the breeze heavy with foreboding, the scent of damp earth mingled with the fear of those who do not yet know what is coming. The lights flicker, the animals sense the tension, and human hearts beat with an unease that can only be explained by what has yet to arrive. And then, when you think you understand the magnitude of what is about to happen, the Virgin spoke words that shake you to your very soul. Not everything has been revealed. What is coming is greater than you can imagine. Keep your eyes open, because the next country is still hidden, and its revelation will change what you believe to be certain. Brothers and sisters, what comes after this is unpredictable and powerful. Do not turn away, for if the heart remains blind, the black moon will find its way. Are you ready to witness what is about to happen? The first nation will begin to feel the touch, but the darkness that will follow can only be held back by true faith. And now, before the veil is fully lifted over the first country, I must tell you, what the heavens will reveal after these hours, no one expects. Only those who remain attentive will be able to see how the full divine message unfolds, and how the next signs are approaching a second country that still remains shrouded in secrecy. Because what will happen next, in that nation I cannot yet name, will change everything you thought possible. Brothers and sisters, if you thought what you've heard so far was intense, prepare yourselves, because what is coming is even more unsettling. The Virgin Mary continues to show signs that cannot be ignored. November 3rd approaches silently, but its effects will resound like an invisible thunderclap over the first country. In recent dreams and visions, the messenger of heaven saw cities beneath a sky that no longer appeared blue, but tinged with a deep gray. that foreshadowed sudden changes. The inhabitants will feel an inexplicable dread, a vibration in the air that will remind them that reality can transform in an instant. Those who observe with eyes of faith will notice bells ringing on their own, clocks stopping for endless seconds, and trees whispering warnings that only the heart can hear. The black moon, brothers and sisters, is not merely a celestial phenomenon. It is a message from heaven, a spiritual touch that activates the invisible and reveals the hidden. The Virgin showed that in this first nation, certain places will feel its influence more than others. Great metropolises, avenues illuminated by human ambition, and neighborhoods where faith slumbers amidst the daily grind. There, the signs will be unexpected and subtle, like a tremor in the soul, awakening those who do not yet believe. But make no mistake, not everyone will see the signs immediately. Only those who seek the truth with open hearts will perceive the change before it is too late. Prayers offered from homes, churches, and secret places will be like torches illuminating the darkness, creating an invisible shield against what the black moon seeks to touch. Every prayer will be heard, and every act of sincere love will have a weight the world cannot measure. Meanwhile, in the twilight of the night before November 3rd, the skies will display strange flashes, lights that cross aimlessly as if marking paths that only a few are destined to follow. The Virgin warned that those who disregard these signs could lose the opportunity to protect their spirit, because the darkness seeks to penetrate not only bodies, but also souls. And here, brothers, the tension rises, for the first nation will not be alone in its trial. The Virgin showed visions of coded messages on the wind, whispers in the most unexpected places, and the feeling that every city, every neighborhood, every human heart is connected by an invisible thread that the black moon touches gently, but firmly. We cannot forget that this has not yet happened. Everything is yet to be revealed and time is running out. That is why I tell you, keep your eyes alert and your hearts steadfast. The messenger of heaven saw how the events of November 3rd begin with small signs that no one connects with each other, but which will come together like a mosaic that will reveal the magnitude of the trial. And then, when they thought they had grasped the gravity of the situation, the Virgin uttered words that made even the bravest spirit tremble. What begins in this country will be only the first echo. What follows will be greater than you can imagine. Brothers and sisters, do not look away. Remain in prayer and faith, for the touch of the black moon is only just beginning, and those who are unprepared will feel its impact more profoundly. Every passing moment brings us closer to November 3rd, and with it, the signs will become impossible to ignore. End of Part 2. The suspense remains, and the First Nation is only just beginning to reveal the intensity of what is to come. The next country will not yet be named, and its revelation will come later. Brothers and sisters, time is running out. Each passing day brings us closer to November 3rd, and the visions that the Virgin Mary has shown are becoming clearer, more intense, and I must warn you, more terrifying. The First Nation is beginning to feel the first touches of the black moon, although no one can yet comprehend the magnitude of what is about to happen. The sky over entire cities will turn grey and opaque, as if an invisible blanket had fallen upon the earth. Nighttime lights will flicker for no reason, and familiar sounds will transform into echoes that seem to warn that something is about to shatter the human routine. Those who have kept their faith will be aware of the signs, a tremor in the air, a strange smell that mixes earth and rain with a sense of urgency, and an almost imperceptible vibration in their own hearts. The Virgin Mary revealed that in certain places, iconic buildings and main avenues will feel energetic tremors, invisible yet palpable. Those most sensitive to the spirit will perceive an inner shift, a silent calling that tells them, prepare yourself, for what is coming requires your full attention. But it won't all be fear. The Virgin also revealed moments of hope. Light appearing in the midst of darkness, people guided to acts of kindness that may seem casual, but are in reality divine protection. Every prayer offered from the depths of the heart will be like an invisible shield, and every gesture of sincere love will act as a barrier against the influence of the black moon. Meanwhile, the skies will display strange signs, flashes, clouds shaped like ancient symbols, and a feeling that the entire land is connected by an invisible thread that only believers can see. The Virgin warns that the darkness not only touches bodies, but also attempts to influence human decisions, thoughts, and emotions. Spiritual preparation is vital. Brothers and sisters, you must understand this. What is about to happen is not an isolated event. It is a phenomenon that awakens the sensitivity of all those who do not yet know the true scope of the black moon. That is why it is so important to maintain faith, prayer, and vigilance. Every passing moment brings us closer to the instant when the signs will be impossible to ignore. And then, just when it seemed that the intensity reached its peak, the Virgin uttered words that would shake even the strongest spirit. It's not just about the first country. What comes next will be even more challenging. Keep the faith because the trial continues and other territories will be affected as well. But you must remain steadfast because every act of love will be a beacon in the approaching darkness. Brothers and sisters, what we have seen so far is merely the prelude. The first country feels the approach of the black moon, and what will come next will forever transform the spiritual landscape of humanity. Do not look away, do not be distracted, for the moment is arriving. Brothers and sisters, what until now seemed distant is beginning to take shape. November 3rd is just around the corner, and the signs sent by the Virgin Mary are becoming ever clearer and more terrifying. The first country has felt the first touches of the black moon, but what comes next will be even deeper, more unexpected and full of mystery. The Virgin Mary revealed, in visions filled with symbolism and sacred light, a second country that will now be touched by the black moon, Colombia. It is no coincidence that this revelation comes at this moment. The heavens have waited for the precise instant to reveal their message, and the hearts of those who listen must be prepared to receive it. In Colombia, the black moon will affect unexpected places. Cities will vibrate with a tension that only the most sensitive will be able to perceive. The air will feel heavy, charged with an omen that mixes fear and awe. The Virgin warned that in this country the signs will not only be visible, but also felt by the Spirit. Small phenomena that at first will seem like mere coincidences, but which are in reality divine warnings. The messenger of heaven saw rivers reflecting strange lights in their waters, mountains that seemed to whisper ancient words, and skies tinged with impossible colors. Every natural element in Colombia will be a reminder of the approaching black moon and the importance of prayer and faith. But the Virgin also offered a message of hope. Those who remain steadfast in faith, who pray with open hearts, and who seek to protect others, will be like beacons in the darkness. Every act of kindness will multiply, acting as an invisible barrier against the approaching spiritual influence. Brothers and sisters, you must be vigilant. The black moon makes no distinction between great and small, rich and poor, powerful and humble. Its touch affects the heart of every person, and in Colombia, the intensity will be such that many will feel an inner tremor, a calling that cannot be ignored. The Virgin warns that spiritual preparation is vital. Without faith, the darkness can penetrate deeper than we can imagine. And now, before they can fully grasp the magnitude of this touch, the Virgin uttered words that fill the heart with awe and fear. Colombia will feel my warning, but what follows will be even stronger. Keep the faith, because the third nation awaits, and its revelation will change everything you thought was certain. Brothers and sisters, do not look away. What begins in this second nation is merely the prelude to an event that will unite signs, warnings, and miracles across continents. The Black Moon continues its journey, and those who remain attentive will witness the celestial manifestation in all its power. Brothers and sisters, the Black Moon is no longer a distant mystery. Its shadow begins to touch Columbia, and the signs that the Virgin Mary showed in visions are becoming increasingly palpable. November 3rd is approaching, and the spiritual atmosphere is charged with an energy that cannot be ignored. In Colombia, the tension is palpable everywhere. Entire cities will feel subtle tremors in the air, like an invisible heartbeat coursing through streets, plazas, and avenues. Rivers will reflect lights that seem like coded signals, and the winds will whisper messages that only those seeking the truth will be able to understand. The Virgin warns that the darkness doesn't just affect the physical world, but also tries to influence the hearts and minds of everyone. The inhabitants will begin to notice changes in their surroundings. Shadows moving for no apparent reason, strangely repeating sounds, and a sense of unease spreading like a veil over the nation. Those who still doubt the faith will feel an emptiness that can only be filled with sincere prayer and total surrender to the divine message. But it is not all fear. The Virgin also showed that acts of kindness, fervent prayers, and genuine faith will be protective shields. Every gesture of love will multiply, creating an effect that, although invisible, will be crucial to resisting the influence of the Black Moon. Those who keep their focus on the divine light will find paths of hope amidst the confusion. Brothers and sisters, the heavens are sending increasingly clear signs, flashes in the night, clouds that seem to form ancient symbols, animals reacting with an instinct we have forgotten. All of this is not by chance. The Black Moon is activating the hidden, and the Virgin Mary reminds us that spiritual preparation is vital. As the days draw closer to November 3rd, the messenger of heaven foresaw how the hearts of many Colombians will face critical decisions to help their neighbors, protect what is sacred, and maintain their faith, or to allow themselves to be overcome by fear and uncertainty. Every act, every choice will be observed and will have repercussions beyond what the eyes can see. And then, just as the tension reached its peak, the Virgin uttered words that stirred the soul. Colombia will feel my message intensely, but what comes next will be even greater. Keep the faith, because the third nation awaits its turn, and what happens there will change history forever. Brothers and sisters, what is about to happen in this second nation is but an echo of the celestial touch that continues its journey. The Black Moon continues its advance, and those who remain in prayer and faith will witness signs that defy human logic. Stand firm, for the time of the third nation is approaching, and its revelation will bring an impact that no heart can ignore. Brothers and sisters, each passing day brings us silently closer to November 3rd, and the Black Moon continues its journey with divine precision. Colombia, the second nation to feel its influence, is beginning to experience phenomena that many will not be able to explain, but that those who have faith will recognize as sacred warnings. The sky over this country appears shrouded in a deep grey veil, mingled with hues that seem to reflect an omen. In the cities, building lights flicker for no apparent reason, and a strange murmur runs through the streets as if the earth itself were trying to communicate with its inhabitants. Animals, sensitive to invisible energies, exhibit behaviors that alarm even the most observant. Dogs that refuse to enter certain places, birds that hover motionless in the air, and cats that seek refuge in unusual spots. All of this serves as a reminder that the Black Moon touches not only the physical, but also the spiritual, and that its effects manifest first in the unseen realm. The messenger of heaven saw breathtaking scenes, rivers reflecting strange lights, mountains that seemed to whisper ancient words, and skies that turned impossible colors, blending shadows and light like a coded message from the heavens. The signs are not only physical, but also spiritual. Sensitive hearts will perceive vibrations, intense emotions, and feelings of awe, mixed with a hope that only faith can sustain. The Virgin Mary warned that the influence of the black moon will affect those who have neglected their spiritual lives. Those who have forgotten prayer, who have stopped meditating on divine messages, will feel unease and confusion. However, those who maintain their faith and continue to pray will be like beacons illuminating the darkness. Every sincere prayer, every act of love, every gesture of kindness will serve as an invisible shield, strengthening the nation's spiritual protection and preparing hearts for what is to come. In everyday life, small phenomena will begin to attract everyone's attention. Objects moving without explanation, lights crossing the sky inexplicably, and sounds that seem to come from another dimension. The Virgin Mary showed that these signs should not be ignored. Every detail has a divine purpose, and those who fail to perceive them will be missing the opportunity to connect with heavenly protection. Brothers and sisters, the tension is felt not only in the physical environment, but also in human emotions and decisions. In Colombia, many people will face internal dilemmas, helping their neighbor, protecting what is sacred, remaining steadfast in faith, or succumbing to fear and uncertainty. Every action will have repercussions that go beyond the visible, and the Virgin warns that every choice counts in the preparation for the arrival of the black moon. As we approach November 3rd, the messenger of heaven foresaw that the phenomena will intensify. Winds that seem to carry messages, rain falling in specific locations, and clouds forming ancient symbols over entire cities. Each manifestation is a reminder that the black moon is on its way, and that faith will be the only effective defense against its influence. But the Virgin also revealed moments of hope, people guided by divine light, performing acts of love that may seem small, but which will have a multiplying effect, strengthening the spiritual protection of those around them. Faith and prayer will be like a mantle covering the faithful, protecting them from the approaching darkness. And just as the tension reached its peak, the Virgin uttered words that filled the heart with awe and fear. Colombia will feel the intensity of my message, but what follows will be even greater. The third nation awaits, and its revelation will change everyone's history. Keep the faith, because what you will see will be so powerful that no heart will be able to ignore it. Brothers and sisters, what we have seen so far in Colombia is merely a prelude to what will occur in the third nation. The Black Moon continues its journey, and the combined effects of the three countries will be visible both spiritually and physically. Preparation and prayer are essential. Without them, the darkness may penetrate deeper than we can imagine. Do not look away. Remain steadfast in faith and continue to pay attention to the signs. Every moment counts, and the Virgin Mary has made it clear that the coming days will define not only Colombia's experience, but also the intensity of the trial that is coming upon the third nation, the one most affected by the Black Moon. Brothers and sisters, the moment that many have awaited has arrived, although few are truly prepared to understand it. November 3rd is approaching, and the Black Moon, which until now has touched the First Nation and extended its influence over Colombia, now reaches its most intense point. Mexico, the third nation, the most affected, the one that will feel the celestial warning most strongly. The Virgin Mary has shown visions that stir the soul. Mexico will appear shrouded in a sky that blends darkness and deep red, as if the horizon itself were heralding a change that no one can ignore. Entire cities will feel the invisible pressure of the Black Moon. Streets suddenly empty, silence is broken by strange sounds, lights flickering inexplicably, and a heavy air that seems to carry a direct message to every heart. This is not merely a matter of physical phenomena. The Black Moon will touch the spirits of millions, challenging faith, sowing fear, but also offering an opportunity to demonstrate love, solidarity, and absolute devotion to divine messages. Those who maintain their faith will be like beacons in the darkness, capable of guiding others toward the celestial protection that the Virgin Mary has provided for her own. The messenger from heaven saw scenes few could imagine. Plazas where crowds stood motionless, gazing at the sky as if awaiting a sign, rivers reflecting impossible colors, mountains that seemed to tremble with a secret rhythm, and winds carrying words only those who seek the truth could understand. All of this served as a reminder that what was about to happen was not an accident, but a direct message from heaven, a call to awaken consciousness and strengthen faith. The Virgin warns that the impact on Mexico will be the strongest of the three countries affected by the Black Moon. Houses will feel invisible tremors, people will experience intense emotions they cannot explain, and those who are not spiritually prepared will feel an inner emptiness that can only be filled with sincere prayer and total surrender to the divine message. However, the Virgin Mary has also shown us hope. In the midst of this tension, acts of love, solidarity, and faith will arise unexpectedly. Every gesture of kindness will be an invisible shield protecting those who perform it and those around them. Prayers will multiply like torches of light in the darkness, and the Virgin Mary will remind everyone that nothing happens without a divine purpose. Brothers and sisters, the tension is so great that its effects will be felt not only in daily life, but also in human emotions and decisions. Many people will face crucial dilemmas, helping others or giving in to fear, acting with faith or succumbing to despair. Every choice will have invisible but far-reaching repercussions, for the Black Moon touches both the physical and spiritual realms. As November 3rd approaches, the Virgin Mary has shown increasingly clear signs: lights crossing the sky inexplicably, clouds forming ancient symbols over entire cities, and a silence heavy with mystery that makes every everyday sound seem like a message. All of this is part of the divine plan, and those with open eyes and hearts will recognize the manifestation of what until now seemed impossible. And then, in the midst of this atmosphere charged with mystery and foreboding, the Virgin uttered words that shake even the strongest soul. Mexico will feel my message with unparalleled intensity. It is no coincidence that my children are attentive. What is approaching will change the course of history, and only those who maintain their faith will be able to withstand the influence of the Black Moon. Prepare your hearts, for what you will see will be so powerful that no human mind will be able to fully comprehend it. Brothers and sisters, we must understand that this third nation represents the climax of the heavenly message. The combined effects of the three countries will demonstrate the magnitude of the divine warning. The Black Moon continues its journey, and what happens in Mexico will be the mirror reflecting the strength of the faith and prayers of all believers. Those who remain attentive and prayerful will see how the Virgin guides the steps of those seeking spiritual refuge. Every moment will be crucial, every gesture of love, every act of kindness, and every sincere prayer will strengthen divine protection. The darkness will be intense, but the light of faith will be stronger, like a shield unfurled in the face of adversity. And just when they think they have grasped the magnitude of the phenomenon, the Virgin issued another warning. This is only the beginning of the full manifestation. What will happen cannot be described with human words. Maintain your faith and prepare yourselves, for the path that opens before you demands vigilance and a pure heart. The Black Moon touches now, but my message remains eternal. Brothers and sisters, we have reached a crucial point in our spiritual journey. November 3rd is already on the horizon, and the Black Moon has begun to unfold its influence upon the three nations: the United States, Colombia, and Mexico. Each country feels the effects differently, but the celestial message that unites them is clear. Humanity must awaken, faith must be strengthened, and prayer must rise as never before. In the United States, the first nation touched by the black moon, the initial signs are no longer subtle. The sky is covered with strange clouds that reflect impossible lights, and the city seems to vibrate with an invisible pulse that touches the minds and spirits of those who live there. Streets empty for brief moments, objects that seem to move without explanation, and sounds that repeat in strange ways create a sense of mystery that only the most attentive can perceive. Believers have begun to notice that their prayers have a tangible effect. Small miracles occur where least expected, and hearts are strengthened by the growing spiritual pressure. In Colombia, the second nation, the black moon intensifies its influence. Rivers reflect lights of colors that shouldn't exist. Mountains and forests seem to emit a murmur that only those who seek the truth can hear, and human emotions become more intense and conflicting. Those who have neglected prayer feel fear, uncertainty, and an inner emptiness, while those who remain faithful experience increased spiritual clarity and an ability to perceive celestial signs before they manifest physically. Every act of kindness, every sincere prayer becomes an invisible shield that protects the faithful and strengthens their spirit against the approaching darkness. Mexico, the third and most affected nation, is under intense pressure. The black moon touches the hearts of millions, and physical and spiritual phenomena combine powerfully. Skies tinged red and black, winds that seem to whisper messages, and rivers reflecting impossible lights are just some of the signs the Virgin Mary has shown. The population will face extreme emotions, fear, uncertainty, and an unprecedented test of faith. Those who maintain their prayer, their kindness, and their attention to divine messages will be the ones who manage to withstand the influence of the black moon and serve as beacons of light for others. The Virgin also showed how events in these three nations are interconnected. The energies of the United States, Colombia, and Mexico form an invisible web that amplifies the effects of the black moon and allows the signs to reach every corner where faith still endures. Every human action has an impact that transcends borders, and every sincere prayer strengthens the collective spiritual protection. Physical and spiritual phenomena intertwine, showing that what happens in one country resonates directly and powerfully in the other two. The skies will reveal increasingly clear signs, flashes of light streaking across the sky, clouds forming ancient symbols, and a profound silence that will make every everyday sound feel like a message. The Virgin Mary warns that ignoring these signs would be a grave mistake. Every moment is an opportunity to strengthen faith, protect the spirit, and prepare for what is yet to come. Brothers and sisters, time is of the essence. November 3rd will bring phenomena that defy human logic, spiritual movements that can only be understood with the heart and faith. Each country will experience unique trials, but the interconnectedness between them will allow those who are attentive to perceive a pattern, a divine message that reveals the magnitude of the heavenly warning. And then, just when hearts believe they have grasped the magnitude of the black moon, the Virgin uttered words that stir the spirit and must be listened to attentively. What you see is not the end, but the prelude to what is yet to come. All three nations will feel my message, but its full impact will only be revealed when every heart stands firm in faith and prayer. Prepare your souls, for what is coming will surpass anything you have imagined. Brothers and sisters, the darkness that touches these three nations is not a punishment, but a call to awaken. The black moon serves to reveal spiritual vulnerabilities and to strengthen the faith of those who are attentive. Every moment counts, and the Virgin Mary reminds us that prayer, kindness, and true faith are the most powerful weapons against the approaching influence. Brothers and sisters, we find ourselves at the most critical point of this prophecy. The date is drawing near. November 3rd is just around the corner, and the black moon continues its journey with celestial precision. The United States, Colombia, and Mexico feel the growing influence, and the effects are beginning to intertwine in ways that no human heart can ignore. In the United States, phenomena that once seemed isolated are now multiplying. Lights flicker across entire cities, objects move without apparent cause, and a profound silence blankets streets and avenues as if the earth itself were holding its breath. Believers feel a growing spiritual intensity. Each prayer is perceived as a ray of light, piercing the darkness and strengthening the protection over the hearts of those who remain steadfast. In Colombia, the influence of the Black Moon reaches an unprecedented level. Rivers, mountains, and forests become channels of spiritual energy. Human emotions intensify. Fear, anxiety, surprise, and revelation mingle in every heart. Those who have maintained their faith feel an inner strengthening and a clear perception of the signs, while those who have neglected prayer experience confusion and fear. Every gesture of love, every sincere prayer, and every act of kindness multiplies, acting as an invisible shield that protects not only the individual but the entire community. Mexico, the third and most affected nation, is under the most intense pressure. The Black Moon touches the hearts of millions, causing physical and spiritual phenomena that defy explanation. Red and dark skies, winds carrying invisible messages, and rivers reflecting impossible lights are part of a divine pattern left by the Virgin Mary as a warning. Feelings of fear and despair mingle with glimmers of hope that only those who remain in prayer can perceive. Brothers and sisters, what is even more impressive is how these three countries are connected through an invisible web of spiritual energy. Acts of faith in the United States influence the protection of Colombia, and prayers from Colombia strengthen hearts in Mexico. The Virgin Mary showed that each nation acts as a node in a larger celestial pattern, where the combination of faith, love, and prayer from believers determines the outcome of the coming event. At this point, the phenomena become impossible to ignore. The sky sends synchronized flashes over the three nations. The clouds seem to form ancient symbols that only those seeking the truth can interpret. And everyday sounds are perceived as messages calling for action and prayer. Every moment becomes crucial. Acts of kindness, attention to signs, and unwavering faith are the weapons against the influence of the Black Moon. The messenger of heaven saw how people's hearts will face critical decisions: to protect others or to be overcome by fear, to maintain prayer and hope or to succumb to despair. Every choice has repercussions that transcend borders and affect all countries. The Virgin Mary warns that the spiritual interconnectedness of these three nations is unique, and that ignoring it could lead to far more profound consequences. As November 3rd approaches, the signs intensify. Unexplained lights streak across the sky, the earth vibrates subtly but steadily, and the feeling that human history is being watched from above becomes inescapable. Believers perceive a direct call to the heart, to hold fast to faith, strengthen prayer, and protect life and goodness. And then, in the midst of this maximum tension, the Virgin uttered words that shake even the strongest spirit. "My children, the full impact of the Black Moon is about to manifest. The United States, Colombia, and Mexico will feel the intensity of my message, but only those who remain steadfast in faith will understand its purpose. Keep your hearts pure, your prayers constant, and your hope alive, because what is to come will forever change the history of humanity." Brothers and sisters, we must understand that this prophecy is not just another warning, but an urgent call. The Black Moon does not seek to destroy, but to reveal vulnerabilities and strengthen faith. Every act of kindness, every sincere prayer, every act of love will be crucial in the spiritual protection of believers and those around them. The Virgin Mary showed how the three countries intertwine in a divine pattern. The United States serves as the first warning, Colombia as the strengthening of faith, and Mexico as the climax, where the test and spiritual protection reach their peak. The combination of these energies will be visible in both the physical and spiritual realms, and those who remain attentive will be able to perceive the full design of the heavenly message. And just when hearts felt that everything had reached its peak, the Virgin uttered another warning. This is only the beginning of the full manifestation. Keep the faith and prepare yourselves, because what comes next will be more intense than the human mind can comprehend. Every moment of prayer, every act of love, and every righteous decision will be crucial to resisting the influence of the black moon. Brothers and sisters, we have reached the moment that marks the climax of the prophecy. November 3rd is upon us, and the black moon is unfolding its influence with an intensity that no human heart can ignore. The United States, Colombia, and Mexico are feeling the effects both physically and spiritually, and the full manifestation of what the Virgin Mary has announced is imminent. In the United States, the first nation, the signs reach their peak. Cities, which for days seemed tranquil, now vibrate with an invisible energy that touches the mind and spirit of everyone. Lights flicker more intensely, everyday noises transform into echoes that sound like warnings, and a profound, almost absolute silence fills every corner. Those who have maintained their faith perceive divine protection, while those who have neglected prayer feel an inner pressure that compels them to seek spiritual refuge. In Colombia, the second nation, the effects of the black moon are even more pronounced. Rivers reflect impossible lights. Mountains and forests seem to whisper ancient messages, and human emotions run high. Fear and anxiety combine with unexpected revelations, forcing each person to confront their heart and their choices. Those who remained steadfast in prayer and kindness feel clarity and spiritual strengthening, while those who ignored the divine messages experience confusion and despair. Every act of love multiplies like a protective shield, enveloping entire communities, demonstrating that collective faith has a real impact on both the physical and spiritual worlds. Mexico, the third nation, the most affected, is experiencing the most intense manifestation. Skies stained red and black, rivers reflecting impossible lights, and winds carrying invisible messages fill the country with visible and spiritual omens. Millions feel the pressure of the black moon in their hearts and minds. The Virgin Mary warns that this will be the moment when faith is tested like never before. Those who maintain prayer and kindness will serve as beacons of light, able to guide others through the darkness, while those who allow themselves to be dominated by fear will feel trapped in a spiritual void. But the Virgin also revealed the greatest hope. Despite the intensity of the signs, every act of faith, prayer, and genuine love is amplified, creating invisible barriers that protect believers and their communities. Miracles that seem small multiply, so that their effects are felt far beyond what the eyes can see. Every sincere prayer, every gesture of kindness, every decision to act with love in the face of fear will be crucial in resisting the influence of the black moon. Brothers and sisters, the connection between these three nations is fundamental. The United States, Colombia, and Mexico do not experience these events in isolation. Their spiritual energies are intertwined in a pattern revealed by the Virgin Mary. Faith in one country strengthens protection in the others, and every act of kindness and prayer generates a multiplying effect that transcends borders. The spiritual interconnection is so strong that phenomena that appear local reflect a universal design, where every pure heart plays a crucial role in the protection and balance of the world. As the day unfolds, the signs become impossible to ignore. Lights streak across the skies simultaneously over the three countries. Clouds form ancient symbols that seem like coded messages from the heavens, and everyday sounds are perceived as warnings calling for action and prayer. The Virgin Mary reminds us that every moment counts and that spiritual preparation is essential. Those who maintain faith and constant prayer will see protection unfold in both tangible and spiritual ways, while those who neglect it will feel the full force of the black moon without refuge. Brothers and sisters, after the intense signs we have seen in the United States, Colombia, and Mexico, the black moon continues its journey, and what is approaching promises to alter the perception of all believers. What until now seemed like a warning is intensifying into phenomena that cannot be explained by human logic alone. In the United States, the skies display strange patterns, clouds that appear to form ancient symbols, and lights that move in sync over major cities. The vibrations in the air are so palpable that some residents feel their own bodies resonating with the invisible energy of the black moon. Every act of faith and prayer becomes a tangible spiritual barrier, reinforcing protection over communities and preparing hearts for the events to come. Colombia is no exception. The rivers reflect impossible lights, and the earth seems to whisper messages that only those seeking the truth can hear. Human emotions reach an extreme level. Anxiety, fear, and sudden revelations mingle, creating a field of tension that affects both the physical and the spiritual. Believers who maintain their prayer and kindness feel an inner strengthening, a clarity that allows them to interpret the signs and act consciously in the face of the approaching darkness. Mexico, the hardest-hit nation, is experiencing unprecedented phenomena. Red and black skies, winds carrying invisible messages, rivers reflecting impossible lights. All this marks the peak intensity of the black moon's influence. Millions of hearts feel an indescribable weight, and every decision becomes a critical act, helping others, protecting the faith, or succumbing to fear. The Virgin Mary warns that only those who act from love and sincere prayer will be able to withstand this pressure and serve as spiritual guides for others. The messenger of heaven saw how the three countries are invisibly connected, forming a spiritual fabric that amplifies the effects of every act of faith. Every prayer in the United States strengthens Colombia. Every act of kindness in Colombia protects Mexico, and every just decision in Mexico radiates light to the other countries. This interconnectedness reveals that the influence of the black moon does not act in isolation, but as a whole that tests collective faith. The phenomena intensify. Inexplicable sounds echo through streets and mountains, lights streak across the skies simultaneously over the three countries, and the feeling that humanity's history is being observed becomes increasingly palpable. The Virgin warns that ignoring these signs would be a grave mistake. Every moment is an opportunity to strengthen faith, protect the spirit, and prepare for what is yet to come. And then, in the midst of maximum tension, the Virgin uttered words that send shivers down your spine. "My children, what you see is only the beginning of the manifestation. The United States, Colombia, and Mexico will feel my message, and every act of faith and prayer will be decisive. Maintain purity of heart and constant attention to my signs, because what is about to happen will be so intense that no unprepared spirit will be able to ignore it." Brothers and sisters, the combined effects of the black moon can no longer be considered isolated warnings. They now form a web of spiritual and physical pressure that reaches every corner of the United States, Colombia, and Mexico. The Virgin Mary has shown that what is approaching will be a direct call to the faith of millions, and that only those who act from prayer and love will be able to withstand the intensity of the phenomena. In the United States, the atmosphere is thick with tension. The skies display synchronized flashes over key cities, and the earth vibrates in ways that the human body perceives as internal pulses. Every act of kindness, every prayer, every conscious decision acts as a spiritual shield, creating invisible protection that extends beyond what the eyes can see. Believers begin to notice subtle changes in their surroundings, Objects that move slightly, sounds that seem to repeat intentionally, and shadows that appear to form figures that warn of what is coming. Colombia is experiencing even more intense phenomena. Rivers reflect impossible lights, animals exhibit strange behavior, and human emotions run high. Fear and uncertainty mingle with sudden revelations, forcing each person to confront their heart and their faith. The Virgin Mary has made it clear that every act of prayer, every gesture of kindness, and every righteous decision will multiply, creating barriers of spiritual protection that benefit not only the individual, but the entire community. Mexico, the most affected nation, faces the full manifestation of the Black Moon. Skies stained red and black, rivers reflecting impossible lights, and winds carrying invisible messages fill the country with visible and spiritual omens. The Virgin warns that this will be a time when faith is tested like never before. Those who maintain prayer and kindness will serve as beacons of light, while those who succumb to fear will feel the pressure of the Black Moon without refuge. The interconnectedness of the three countries becomes evident. The spiritual energy of each nation impacts the others. The Virgin shows that collective faith can alter the intensity of phenomena, and that each sincere prayer strengthens the protection not only of those who pray, but also of those around them. The combined effects create a pattern that can only be interpreted through faith and which reveals the magnitude of the divine message. The signs intensify even further. Lights simultaneously streak across the skies of the three countries, clouds form ancient symbols, and the profound silence makes every everyday sound feel like a warning. The Virgin reminds us that every moment is crucial. Every prayer, every gesture of love, every righteous decision strengthens spiritual protection and prepares humanity for what is yet to come. And then, in the midst of the tension, the Virgin uttered words that send shivers down your spine. My children, the three countries feel my message, but what is to come will surpass anything seen before. Maintain faith, prayer, and kindness, for what is approaching will challenge the human mind and test every heart. Only those who remain vigilant will be able to withstand the influence of the Black Moon. Brothers and sisters, what is approaching surpasses anything we have witnessed. The Black Moon continues its journey, and its influence on the United States, Colombia, and Mexico intensifies. The signs are becoming increasingly clear, and the Virgin Mary leaves messages that demand spiritual vigilance, constant prayer, and actions based on faith and love. In the United States, the vibration in the air becomes almost palpable. Lights in the sky create patterns that seem like warnings and messages, and everyday sounds are perceived differently. Every creak, every murmur seems to communicate something that only the attentive can understand. Those who maintain their faith feel divine protection enveloping them, while those who neglect prayer experience unease and fear. Colombia faces phenomena that defy human logic. Rivers reflecting impossible lights, mountains that seem to emit a constant murmur, and animals behaving in unusual ways. Human emotions intensify, and every decision becomes a critical act. The Virgin shows that acts of kindness and prayer create a multiplying effect that protects communities and strengthens the spiritual connection with other countries. Mexico, the most affected nation, finds itself at the epicenter of the Black Moon manifestation. Dark, red skies, rivers reflecting impossible lights, winds carrying invisible messages, all are part of a divine pattern affecting both the physical and the spiritual. Hearts face extreme trials, and every righteous act becomes a protective shield that can save lives and strengthen the faith of those around them. The three countries are connected in an invisible pattern that amplifies the effects of the Black Moon. The Virgin Mary shows that collective faith determines the intensity of these phenomena, and that prayer and kindness are powerful weapons against darkness. Every moment of attentiveness, every righteous decision has repercussions that cross borders and affect millions of people. The signs intensify. Lights streak across the sky simultaneously, clouds form ancient symbols, and the profound silence makes every everyday sound seem like a divine message. The Virgin reminds us that every moment counts and that spiritual preparation is essential. Those who remain steadfast in prayer and faith will perceive the protection and messages that the black moon reveals. Finally, the Virgin utters words that stir emotions and call to action. My children, all three countries feel my message, and what is about to happen will surpass anything known. Maintain prayer, faith, and kindness. Only those who act with love and a pure heart will be able to withstand the intensity of the black moon and protect those around them. The coming days will mark a turning point in the spiritual history of humanity.